I'm going to pose to you an unfair question.
Okay.
And the reason it's unfair is because the only people who tend to get asked this are the NDP and to another extent the Liberals. So
Okay.
this is not something that anybody would ask a conservative, right?
Right.
So in the hypothetical scenario where Doug Ford in the next election wins a minority government, and let's just say it's not a very strong one, it's one that can be easily overcome with an NDP Liberal coalition.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of whether or not the NDP get the most amount of seats, and therefore regardless of whether or not you would then be premier, would you consider creating a coalition with the Liberal Party to ensure that Doug Ford doesn't get another term, or is that something that is too difficult to call out this far in advance?
It's hard to call it this far in advance because we don't really know too much about what the Liberal Party, like I think the Liberal Party is going through a bit of a moment trying to figure out who they are. And so I would want to see like what their ideas are, what their platform looks like, and what shared priorities and shared values we have. And the same thing with the other parties, right? And I think that's the fairest way I could approach that is I could see maybe doing something like that in theory. Absolutely. I could also see working together on issues of shared interest and shared value and moving those things forward. And I think, for me, and you heard it here a few times, things like electoral reform are really important. And in a case like that, we'd be looking for opportunities where maybe we could move forward some big things, really like end the privatization of healthcare, really invest in education, really build our communities, build the truly affordable housing that we need. These are the kinds of priorities we have. And we'd be looking for partners in other parties who want to do those same things.
Once again, a bit of an unfair question, but I think it will allow for people to see those main priorities. Let's just say we're in that scenario. You have the opportunity to partner up with the Liberals for a coalition, and you get one demand, one policy demand that no matter what, if we do this
Yeah.
coalition,
Oh.
we're going to get. So whether it's between when you're talking about healthcare, electoral reform, etc., like what would you say right now? People can say this is what this is the number one thing that we can guarantee. If we can even get them in a minority government, if we can get them in a coalition, this is what we'll see get out of the NDP government.
Well, everything is sort of like what's happening in the moment. But I will tell you this. I mean, I think people are really having a hard time right now. And the two main issues I hear about are people are having a hard time like affording to live anywhere in this province. And the other big thing is healthcare. People like don't have family doctors or nurse practitioners. Emergency rooms are closing. That is not sustainable. So for me, ending the privatization of healthcare, investing in our public healthcare system, bringing all those nurses and doctors and everybody back into the healthcare system has to be the big priority in Ontario, because where it's headed right now is going to be so bad for so many people and lives are actually being lost.